Hey, Rick.
Hey Megan, how you doing?
Well, I know we didn't meet yesterday, or not yesterday, last week. And that was because I had my impending procedure coming up, if that's the right word.
Mhm.
Impending? Is that the right word? Yeah.
Mhm.
Procedure coming up. And I had gotten myself so worked up about it that I had broken out in hives. And I was really, really grouchy. And I said, Rick, I don't want to do the podcast this week. I'm super grouchy. I'm sure
Yeah,
you remember that.
do.
Well, I had my procedure, as you can probably tell by my
Hmm.
black eyes and so forth. And so what had happened was that they found a little tiny bit of cancer right here where your glasses sort of sit.
Hmm.
And it's a good tale of why you should go to the dermatologist regularly because I don't know, I kind of expected skin cancer to look a certain way, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm. Hmm.
because Tim had found a spot on my shoulder, and that's why I was there in the first place. And I told the dermatologist, well, since I'm here, like, can you check my whole body? Because it's like not easy to get a dermatologist appointment. And she found this little white bump, and she took a biopsy, and there and behold, there were some cancerous cells. So
Wow.
I got myself all worked up about it. And it was a 2-day procedure. It was Wednesday, they removed it. And then Thursday, they were going to sew my face back together. And I
All right.
did not know quite what to expect. I mean, it's been a while since I've had, stitches and stuff, but it was kind of a big day. I was, it was like an hour and a half procedure. And you know how I just had told you how I gotten all worked up, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the day of the surgery, and I won't say where or anything. And they'd gotten me all ready. Great group of people. And so they wheel me into the surgery room, and I'm just like trying to stay calm, just trying to be cool. And the anesthesiologist, as he was going in the surgery room, he broke the door. Okay. So it's got one of these hinges, it's a self-closing hinge. So he
Hmm.
breaks the door and the hinge is going kaka 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 in the surgery room, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, I'm like strapped to the bed.
Oh
I've had
no.
all this angst, right? And now this door is doing this. And so my surgeon is like, "Oh, I think I can fix that." And then they bring him a stool, and he's like standing on a stool, and he's trying to jam these two pieces back together. And I'm like, he's gonna hurt his hands, he's gonna fall, something is gonna happen, and my
Right.
surgery is gonna get delayed.
Right.
And I'm saying to the nurse, I'm like, could you call like a repair person or close the door, turn the hinge off or something? It's just a self-closing hinge. So I was like sitting there on the table going, this is like, I mean, I
Too
couldn't believe
much.
it. It went on for like 8 minutes. It was so
Oh,
long.
seemed like an hour.
I know. And I was like, this guy is gonna hurt himself. But anyway, so yeah. So I mean, I worked this weekend. I felt great, but if you've got any abnormal looking things on your skin, wouldn't hurt to, have a dermatologist take a look
Yeah,
at it.
for sure. Well, they caught it early, very early, it seems
Yeah.
like. So you're good to go,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So anyway, so the topic for this week
Hmm. Hmm.
is I have been just doing a lot of thinking since, the new buyer broker agreements have come out and that sort of thing. Um, that uh, just kind of processing the market. And I had some open houses this weekend and everything, and I've been talking to buyers agents a lot because I had two new listings. And I had a buyer's agent call me over the weekend a couple of times, like text me, Megan, I have some questions. Can you call me? And so the call was this: the house is priced at 800,000. Okay, and her clients can only go up to 820, and she was calling me to see if I thought that the house was going to sell for more than 820, because if so, they weren't going to write an offer. Okay. And I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. I said, listen, let's call her Jenny. Listen, Jenny, I understand that you and your client probably have a little offer fatigue, right? I mean, the 800 price range is pretty tough. Anything from
Really
8 to
tough
about
price range.
1.1 million is like
Yeah.
a lot of competition, and you're writing a
Hmm.
lot of offers. And I said, but I mean, it takes you, you know, well, now it's like 47 pages in an offer package. So it takes you 30 minutes, to write an offer, send it out, and then maybe another 30 minutes to prepare it and get it off to the seller. And I know that's exhausting, but if you don't do it, you'll never know. If you don't
Right.
try,
Yeah. Give it a shot.
you'll never
Uh-huh.
know. And I told her, I
Yeah.
said, sometimes the first offer falls out. I mean, usually when you get offers, you get three groups of offers. You get like two really high offers, and then a bunch of them that are pretty reasonable, and then you'll get like one or two that think they can get it at the asking price or less.
Hmm. Hmm.
So anyway, I just thought to myself, listen, I know that it can be exhausting to be out there home shopping and everything, but if you don't ask, you'll never know. And if you don't put it out there, you'll never know. What if the first buyer falls out and the agent doesn't put the house back on the market, but calls all the offers that they had, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
You wouldn't know that unless you put an offer in.
Right.
So anyway, that was my tale of today, is that go to the dermatologist if you see anything that's abnormal, and don't hesitate to write an offer, submit it, and get your hat in the ring so that if anything goes on with that property.
That's a great point. And we've talked about this before about being prepared, and that's an example of an agent who was really prepared, right? She called
Right,
you, she made the advanced call, she knew what the game plan was, she knew what her clients could do. And you guys kind of put a plan together of some sort. At least she was in the hunt. She wasn't just throwing it out there to see what would happen. She had a
right.
game plan.
Yeah.
And there's the difference, right?
So like, yeah, and that reminds me too. I mean,
Yeah.
because I have a lot of listings, right? And
Hmm.
so I get offers in almost daily, sometimes a couple a
Yeah.
day, depending on what the situation is. And
Hmm.
sometimes agents don't even call me before they submit an
Yeah.
offer. And it's like, what an opportunity lost.
Yeah.
You know, just call me. We have a client that's in escrow right now.
Hmm.
That when we found the house, and it was like that 1.1 million price range, I was like, here we go. So when we
Hmm.
found the house, I called the agent and I said, tell me what the perfect offer looks like to you. Right. I didn't
Great
ask her,
question.
what should I offer? It's like, what are you guys shooting
Yeah.
for? What
What's
are you
the
looking
perfect
for?
offer? Yeah.
What does the perfect offer look like? So she explained it to me. And so with that information, you can pick and choose what things, that you're willing to do or not do based on the ideal offer, and just get it in there.
Yeah, I like that. I like that scripting. I mean, what's the perfect offer?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah,
right out there?
exactly.
I like that a lot.
What are you
Very
dreaming of?
smart. Yeah.
What do you have on your mind? What would make it the easiest for the seller?
Hmm.
How could I write this offer that you would endorse it to the seller? Stuff like that,
Hmm.
just gotta have a chit chat with people.
Goes a long way, right? I mean, you're right to your point. These agents that will submit an offer without even calling you, knowing there's likely going to be 4 or 5 or 10 offers, they don't know. They don't know. It's like they don't know what they don't know.
Hmm.
And they're so unprepared. And you know this already, but when agents do that, how serious are their buyers? Are they just throwing it
Hmm.
out there to see what happens? Are they engaged, or do they know the numbers? You
Oh my
don't,
gosh. Here's another
right?
one. This is really funny.
Hmm.
You're gonna love this.
Okay.
So whenever, as you know,
Hmm.
whenever we get offers in, we always call the loan officer, right? And we ask
Right.
them a series of questions, just
Hmm.
based on, what the seller has inquired about and approved on, the important things to know. So one of the questions is, are these gift funds? Are these gift funds? Are they the buyer's funds? What are you doing here? Because, if there's gift funds, it used to be gift
Mhm,
funds, and this was a long time ago, you get a gift fund. It's like, oh, great, you got a gift fund. This is wonderful. And then I think like somewhere around 9/11, like a lot of
mhm,
things changed with sourcing of funds and all this kind of
mhm,
stuff. And so it's
mhm,
like you get a gift fund, you're getting a gift. Your gift is
mhm,
going to be scrutinized and it's going to have to be sourced and explained and all this kind of stuff. And
mhm,
sometimes
mhm,
you get to that gifter, and the gifter's like, well, I didn't think I'd have to fill out this paperwork. Forget it. You know what I mean? I mean, every
mhm,
once in a
mhm.
while, somebody has a tantrum about something. So,
Yeah.
um, so we were calling yesterday on some offers that came in, and
Mhm,
the one of the loan officers, we said, is this a gift? And they said,
mhm.
yes. And we said, well, have you sourced it? And the loan officer says, you don't need to worry about that. And then they said, that's
Really?
between, yeah, then they said, that's between me and escrow.
What?
Escrow? What does escrow have to do with
I have
gift
nothing to do with
funds?
it.
It's like, listen, buddy, I'm just trying to, make sure that you've got your homework done and that you're ready to,
Wow.
move
Wow.
forward without delay. I thought that was funny. And then another one was getting gift
Mhm,
funds. And we said, okay, well, have you sourced the gift funds? Because, you're writing an offer and you have $100,000 down payment and you only have
mhm.
50,000 in the bank. Where's the other 50,000? That's part of your presentation of the funds.
Uh-huh,
Okay.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
And so we asked the loan officer, well, how much is a gift and how much is theirs? And they said, I don't know. So that was another
Wow.
unprepared. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. We talk
So,
about this so a lot, and we feel bad for the clients who entrust their ability to buy a home with people who are not really prepared to argue the case for them to get the home.
right.
And
Oh,
it's
what
upsetting
a
to see that,
shame. Yeah.
right? And
What a
look,
bummer.
it takes it takes a certain amount of work and planning and thought. It's not, I talk to agents a lot, as you know, too, and they'll say, well, I talk to agents, you know how we are, and they'll say, no, I'll just submit it and see what they're going to say. Well, after like 896 offers, I think I know what they're going to say. Hello, right?
Yeah.
So, and it's the same result every time. 2 days later, what happened? Oh yeah, they took another offer.
Right.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I mean, yeah. So, yeah,
Oh
I
my
know we
God.
get very passionate about that, but we see it so often,
Yeah. It's painful.
right?
It's painful to watch.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so
For sure.
next week let's talk about what you brought up earlier, which is the
Mhm,
conforming loan limits and
mhm,
what that means to borrowers, and
mhm.
also a review once again of what rate drops have to do with the current interest rates.
There's a lot of good stuff happening right now. And just to set the stage for that a little bit, every year Freddie and Fannie they set new loan limits every year. Those are really really important because these loan limits determine, interest rate levels. And so that conforming loan limit is very very critical because when buyers get above that the basic conforming loan limit, the underwriting guidelines are a little bit tougher, the rates are a little bit higher, their options kind of go away a little bit. So every time that goes up a little bit, we have buyers that really have more buying power at a better rate. So that's
Mm-hmm.
really, really important number. Now, that does not get announced until November, but we're going to be able to bring those loans in and originate them sometime within the next couple of weeks. So we'll talk about that
Mm-hmm.
next week as well. And then real quickly, we know that the feds will announce, I think it's tomorrow or Thursday, I forget the date now. They're going to announce a quarter point discount rate cut.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that a bit 2 weeks ago. Just real fast, that quarter point rate cut does not mean the mortgage rates dropped a quarter.
Mm.
Okay. Everything else, prime rate drops a quarter, credit cards drop a little bit, consumer loans drop a little bit, but mortgage rates are not tied to the Fed rate. They're tied to the bond market.
Mm-hmm.
Good news
Mm-hmm.
is rates have already come down for mortgages and they're going to keep
Mm-hmm.
coming down a little bit. But so, so that quarter point bump or quarter point drop does not mean mortgage rates dropped a quarter point this week.
Mm-hmm.
Just heads up. The rates
Got
are
it.
great. We're in good shape.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to go over this conforming loan limit thing next
Yep.
week. So
Yep.
maybe you can give us the amounts for, Orange and the surrounding
Yep.
counties and just kind of explain, conforming, non-conforming and rates and that kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah, we can do that for sure. All good
Perfect.
stuff.
All right. I appreciate you. Have a lovely
Appreciate
rest of your
you.
day and
You too.
keep doing what you're doing, and we'll
You as
talk
well.
again soon.
Thanks, Megan. See you later.
Bye.